So I'm excited to share more about our strategy today, and I wanted to start off with a question for everyone in the room. Have you ever experienced a woman's fury?
My husband just laughed in the corner.
Well, for many of you, that saying might bring to mind, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. And while that saying plays on stereotypes of women being angry, I actually love it when the word scorn is dropped. Hell hath no fury like a woman. Because when it comes to the well-being of her family, a woman will do everything she can to see them survive and thrive. And at IDE, we want to ignite the power of women and women entrepreneurs to end poverty and unlock prosperity. Last year, I was fortunate to meet a woman in Zambia named Salima, who's a mother, a sister, and a friend. And Salima owns multiple agricultural shops that sell seeds and fertilizers to more than 5,000 farmers in her community. When I spoke with Salima, I could see the pride on her face as she shared about how her businesses were bringing prosperity, not just to her, but also to her neighbors. I also met another woman named Alice, who was also a farmer. She was inspired by Salima's successful business and decided through her own efforts and guided by Salima's example to become an entrepreneur and business owner herself. And stories like Salima and Alice, where they each go about their work with a fury to create well-being and lasting prosperity for the communities, and not just for their own family and their neighbors, but really reaching for greater communities across their country. So over the last 40 years, IDE has been relentless in our goal to increase the incomes of people in the countries where we work. In our first 30 years, we increased the incomes of 20 million people. And in the last 10, we doubled that and increased the incomes of 21 million people. Like Salima and Alice, we approach this work with a fury, and stories like theirs give us a blueprint for how we can accomplish our new goal for the next 10 years. IDE's goal is to power 1 million women entrepreneurs to foster prosperity in their communities for 100 million people. To do this, we're on a mission to come alongside women entrepreneurs in the Global South and support them in utilizing tools and the skills that they already have to produce change that is sustainable and where the impact of each investment grows far beyond income alone. Our global community has focused on the poverty line for too long. The women we work with, the women who live in the countries you're here representing, want more for their families and their communities. We can't continue to measure progress by the number of people who haven't starved to death. It's not enough to survive. I don't want that for my family, and I know none of you would accept that for yours. We know that more than half of the families in the world, representing 4.7 billion people, live below the economic empowerment line. That marker where families have sufficient income to invest in housing and education, energy and water for the household, access to healthcare and sanitation, and improved nutrition to thrive for the long term. This is where generational change occurs. And to support that vision, I'm really proud to announce Project Fury, IDE's campaign to redefine what prosperity looks like, one that focuses on the positive force of women and the urgency of the challenges that families and communities face globally. Those of you in this room know the power of small business, and there's a growing movement that recognizes the untapped potential of women and women entrepreneurs in particular. In my years at IDE, I've seen it over and over again that when women thrive, everyone thrives. This is a fundamental truth that undergirds Project Fury, yet we need your support. Imagine the resources we could apply to this approach if everyone here at the Concordia Summit increased their funding for women and women entrepreneurs in the Global South. We're not here to just educate and learn. That's not enough. We're here to act. We know what needs to happen, and we're calling on the resources, the influence, and the fury in this room to take action. Just like Salima and Alice and so many other women we've partnered with, we'll go about this work with a fury, and we ask that you step up, commit, and join us.
Hell hath no fury like a woman. Like a woman empowered. Like a woman successful. Like a woman who wants her kids to go to school. Like a woman who wants to pull her community out of poverty. She's the first ripple to a huge wave of change. Her positive energy creates progress, inspires others, and paves the way to a brighter future. Hell hath no fury like a woman entrepreneur. We're working to power 1 million women entrepreneurs to impact millions of people. And we're doing it with a fury. Join us. Project Fury, igniting the power of women to end poverty.